Welcome back, everybody, to the Anti-Stall Racing IMSA series. Back for Season 9, Round 6. And with a bit of a twist, for our first time ever, it's a GT3 only round. So GT3 only today. We're going to be doing the same next week with our GTP cars. That's a GTP only round. Today we're going to have just 15 minutes of qualifying. That's why we started a little bit later. We might be doing it a little bit different next week. We're waiting for a vote on the drivers. But today we're at Virginia International Raceway for our GT3 only round. You can see the radar on the screen. I'm just going to hide that for now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm joined once again by Adrian. What are we looking forward to today?
We are looking forward to some great side-by-side action here in Virginia International. And also, George, I cannot see what you're seeing.
Okay. And 1 second. There we go. You should be able to see it.
There we go. I can see the cars now. Wonderful.
All right. Well, we saw that radar for a second. I'm just going to touch on it because we've got the weather up on the right-hand side. You're seeing 84% chance of precipitation in today's session. I think I can tell you, having looked at the actual weather, it's a little bit more than 84%. The session was set up. Just a little bit more, right? So we set up the session with the aim of sort of having a dry first half of the race, second wet half of the race, because then you wouldn't necessarily be able to pit for your fuel at the same time as your tyres, so it would make the strategy a bit more interesting. I think we've achieved that. It looks like it's going to rain quite heavily at about the halfway mark, but we are going to have a full dry qualifying, so we're going to focus on that for now. We've just got the 15 minutes of qualifying, and that's an accident already. So let's take a look at what happened there. That was Daniel Morphy in that Lamborghini going slow in the bottom right corner of your screen. Daniel came to a complete stop, and the Acura could just not see him. Yeah, that's very strange incident. We'll see what race control think about that. I think they'll probably think that Daniel shouldn't have been stopped on the racing line, but they were all on outlaps.
Yeah, they were both on outlaps, so they still both lose time. So I wonder how race control is going to take a view of that, because if one or both were on hot laps rather than out laps, then that is a clear cut penalty for more people. But I don't know how they're going to view that as being on an out lap.
Yeah, it is now under investigation, so we'll let race control do their thing. We're on board with Sven Elmers, who's our first driver to start our lap in GT3 Pro. We're going to go and I'm just going to flick these onto the correct class. There we go. So this is our full GT3 field that we've got today. Slightly reduced field size as we often get towards the end of the season, but that's not going to stop us from having a brilliant race today. Sven in the Pro category is our first driver to put in a lap. Ricardo Rivas now also set a lap time, but Sven on the second lap is pushing quick. Got a couple of purple sectors so far this lap, although two of them have already been nicked by Vincenzo Soroche Jr., who's coming around. So we'll jump on board with Vincenzo in the Mustang. We're still looking quick today. Adrian, I've not really driven around VIR too much, but it looks like we've got some nice long straights. I'm going to throw the track map up for our viewers here. We've got some nice big long straights, and we've got that sort of twisty straight as well. So we should get some good racing here, I think, today, and some nice slipstreaming in our GT3 field.
Check. I'm on the past lap. I shouldn't be able to get in.
Yeah, we should see very quick racing, very high octane racing, and a lot of passing opportunities. Look for major passing opportunities down at the horseshoe at 1 off the straight. If we follow, who are we following here in the must? We follow
Vincenzo
coming into 1, the corner being horseshoe. We should see a lot of opportunities here into the braking zone, as well as drivers who are brave enough down into the NASCAR bend at 3. We should see some good side-by-side action there. American naming. 5A should maybe give us opportunities. Depending on how brave you are, down the run to the corners that are 7, 8, and 9. If you're attempting to pass 7, 8, 9, be prepared to get punted off because if you can make it work, it's going to be a fantastic move. But I personally have never seen drivers make 7, 8, 9 work, and someone's always ending up in the grass. Down to Oak Tree at 11, you shouldn't see much passing, but after that, you have that long straight, and that should give us good drag racing coming down the roller coaster at 14, and which is a nice downhill. Yeah, it's a nice downhill, left, right, left. Wait, right, left. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'll finish off at 18-17, which then you come back onto the straight.
Yes, I think that back straight is going to be the primary overtaking opportunity, and then this straight down into turn 1 as well. Turn 1 in particular, it's essentially a hairpin, isn't it? And it's a little bit, it's quite an open hairpin, but you've got to get this car slowed down a lot in turn 1, which is going to make some good overtaking opportunities. Vincenzo's flying again across the line, sets the fastest lap, so 44.82 now. It puts him half a second clear of the rest of the field.
Wow.
We're going to see what some more can do. Jose Carlos Villarejo's on the lap. Lots of greens for Jose. He'll be looking to jump up, and he has done to P7. That's the AM driver, remember, so Senna Botkoven ahead of him also in AM. And remember, this is dry pace. Wet pace is a whole nother thing. Senna was very good in the wet compared to Villarejo in Interlagos when we raced there. Different track, of course, but that same track conditions. Some drivers struggle a little bit more. Some cars are better in that rain as well. So let's see what happens. I think the first half of the race is going to be key for track position, and then it's all about who can make that crucial tyre change at the right time. We've seen it go wrong for people before who've tried to stick it out on the dries. We've seen it go wrong for people who've come in for the wets a little bit early, because if you're on the wets too early, you burn through them really easily, and the tyre temperature goes through the roof, and you lose all grip, and you're just slower than everybody else. But then if you time it right, you can gain 20 seconds maybe, even by being on the right tyre at the right time. So that's going to be really interesting as well.
And then it's also being the confidence on those wet tires, because track being wet, it's slipping and sliding. The car is being thrown everywhere. What driver can manage that slipping and sliding can also turn the tide of the race, because your pace, as you said, pace in dry and pace in the wet is vastly different. Some drivers will perform much better in the wet.
That's a pit lane start for the number 8. That's Daniel Morphy, who was stopped on the racing line. So pit lane start, harsh penalty. That's going to send him right to the back of the field. Daniel, who's currently qualified P5. Ooh, and off the road for Gregory Kohler. So Daniel will still pick up those points for P5 in qualifying, or higher if he gets higher, or lower if he gets bumped down. But he will have to start in the pit lane. That's going to hurt, but he knows that everyone's probably going to be making an extra pit stop today. There's lots of opportunity in that wet weather to make up the position, so don't count Daniel out of a good finish.
This could also be somewhat beneficial to Daniel, because he will be behind everybody if there is absolute carnage into turn 1. So
as well.
So if there is just an absolute punting, he will just avoid all of that, and he could be on for a great recovery drive. So this pit lane start is not the end for him, just because of the way VAR is laid out.
Yeah, and I think as well, you said about turn 1 and avoiding all that chaos. I think it's worth pointing out as well that this will give Daniel an opportunity, if he's 10-15 seconds behind the rest of the field and they'll get to turn 1 when it starts raining and all fly off the road, he can dive in the pit lane when they all chose to stay out another lap and get those wets on a little bit sooner, which could be to his advantage.
So let's not count Daniel out just yet. I mean, Daniel is a very quick driver as well, so he can definitely make up these places. And VAR being VAR, you can definitely make up all these places off of the front stretch, the back stretch, and that run down to 789 is a great place to make up speed, especially if you're getting in behind someone, helping someone draft. I'm not saying to bump draft down at the 789, but maybe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good, and I think there's definitely plenty of opportunity for Daniel to come back through the field. Seeing a couple of drivers out there struggling to find time on the track right now. They've got 4 minutes till the end of the session, so still a chance to bolt a new set of tyres on potentially, or find a slipstream. We're seeing a lot of drivers actually hunting for that slipstream, which is interesting to see.
We did see some drivers struggling with the layout of VAR. Some are not quite grasping the line you should take, the way you should come into a corner, come out of a corner. So there is room for improvement absolutely everywhere. It all comes down to the driver. Like I am seeing like drivers make very simple mistakes that are costing them time, especially down at 11. Speaking of mistakes, who was that? But Mateo going off, yeah. Too much speed. Yes. Yeah. There is in the driver briefing notes that if you go off after 10 and come after 10 and before 12 to rejoin on the main straight. So we definitely will see that, because it is quite an easy corner to mess up. Quite a not devious. What's the word? Deception. Deceptional. Deceptive. Yeah. Because it seems like a corner you could take with a bit more speed than you can think, and then you're turning, and then I'm in the grass. Oh no. As I believe Jesus did just that. Yes. Yeah. And then yeah, it is very challenging, because it is, for the most part, flat out through the kink that is 789, and then you're coming into a corner where you need to get your brakes right, get them absolutely perfect. If you don't, you're in the grass. If you're on the brakes too much, you're gonna lose too much time. So that's what makes that section of
Oh my God.
And I've just been told that no one's been able to hear me for the last few minutes. There we go. Andy should get back to us. That was me trying to get rid of some of my background noise and adjusted the wrong setting. But there we go. That should be back now. Waiting for Amy to get back to us. Right, so that's it. Bram is going to be on pole position unless Gregory can go quicker, but Gregory's struggling to find the sector times right now. So just coming through a couple of corners here to the line. And Gregory not finding any improvement. Ricardo Riva, though. A couple of greens, a couple of yellows. What can Ricardo do?
Did you say Bram on pole?
That is not what I meant. If it is what I said, Vincenzo Sirace is on pole. Bram in P19. I got that wrong. I'm reading a message from one of our race control members, Amy, who said pole had to go less than 800ths faster, and Bram would not have made the 105% from race control. So Bram a couple of seconds off the back of the field. So Bram's going to have to try and hope for a bit of race pace, hope for a bit of luck, and hope the rain goes his way.
800th.
Right, all cars within race control. That's the call.
Confirming everyone is within 105%, which is very, very close.
Yeah, that's what we just about needed to get to, I think, isn't it, for these guys?
Bram, I don't recall if Bram was one of the drivers that were struggling through some of the corners I was mentioning, such as turn 1, turn 11, the turn 9, which if you get these wrong, you are going to lose so much time. It is crucial to get these corners near perfect.
Right, these drivers have got warm up. We're waiting for a new radar from race control. I'm going to throw up the session results, which are not coming up. There they are. So GT3 Pro, Vincenzo Sirace will start on pole. That's overall pole as well for Vincenzo, ahead of Vincent. Awesome's Kohler in P3, Elmer's P4, Jabrino P5 for 07 Racing, Moore P6, but we'll start from the pit lane, and Ricardo Riva P7. GT3 AM, a few more drivers in AM today than in Pro. Villarejo will start on pole in AM. That's points, remember, not grid position, but Bokhoven just behind 148 milliseconds off of his championship rival. Kuipers P3, Gak in P4, Mixay in P5, Jesus Jimenez P6, Tim Schultz in P7, Matteo Lemre P8, João Medeiros P9, Sander Bauer in P10, and Quinton Bossi and Bram Kran are your last and second last drivers on the grid. But Bram a little bit more off the pace, like we said, so he's going to need a little bit of luck potentially in the race to try and drag himself forwards. Well, it's been a while. Oh, go on.
I was just gonna say, I do think Bram definitely does have the pace to be faster than that. We have seen that he can definitely be faster than that. He has the pace to mix it up a little bit. So it is very curious to see him be that far off the pace.
Yeah, it's weird. Bram often on the pace and often fighting up front in AMS. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can. I think he's just struggling with the track a little bit. Maybe not raced here before. So if he can just get his eye in those first few laps, then there's definitely potential for Bram to try and catch up to the field a little bit. It's been a while here at ASR since we had a GT3 only race. That would have been back during our GT3 championship. which we ran before the IMSA series with a pretty dramatic title showdown at Watkins Glen. Just trying to remember, it was at least a couple of years ago, I think. I'm trying to find our own YouTube page so I can actually look when our GT3 videos were posted. I'm gonna have to scroll back a long way, so I might be here a while. And I could be looking on the complete wrong page because it's not even showing up. And actually, this is all suggesting to me that those GT3 only races may have been run on our old Twitch page back in the day.
The race will not start on the green flag. The race will start when your class leader, and the only leaders today, goes in the start zone. And we ask the pole sitter, that is Vincenzo, to run the pit limiter exiting from the exit of the final corner, so when you're onto the main straight, until you reach the start zone. And for other cars around you are not required to run the pit limiter, but we ask that you aim at a consistent pace sort of around that, so that the grid is nicely packed up and we don't have any big differences in speed until the pole sitter starts the race. Thank you.
There we go. I've found our GT3 season. I was looking on the wrong section on YouTube. That was 2 years ago. We also ran a Christmas GT3 series, which was about 3 years ago, I think now as well. But if anyone wants to catch up on that GT3 series, because that was an absolutely mega season, you can do so on our YouTube page. And I think you'll see a few of those drivers still racing here today. And some of them maybe have swapped class or definitely have swapped cars. But you can go back and catch up on that. You can also head over to our new website, which should be linked in the description, antistall.racing. Yeah, I know, all working. Antistall.racing finally up after some troubles with our service provider not handing over the address properly for our old website. But we're back up on antistall.racing, and you can head over there to catch the results from every round this season. There are a couple of seats open in, I think, GT3 and GTP. So if anybody wants to get involved, next week you can get involved in GTP. You'll have to wait another week after that to get back in GT3. It's a GTP only round next week, as we mentioned. But if anybody's interested, head over to the website, grab his discounted seat. I believe it's around €3 for a discounted seat for the rest of the season. Great way to get your eye in. Get ready for Season 10. Now, Season 10, plans are coming together. It's not officially confirmed yet, but it might as well be. We're getting the calendar ready. We're taking information in from any drivers. If anybody's got anything in the chat that they want to throw to us, just drop that in the description and we'll try and get that into our plans as well. We are looking at maybe shaking it up a little bit. 10 seasons of the IMSA series is pretty interesting. I'm going to...
Or join the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord, get involved, have a chat with the drivers. You can see all of the information. That Discord is also linked in the description. So join the Discord, open a ticket, have a chat with any of us. All of our staff are very friendly. They're happy to chat with you, and all of our drivers will be more than happy to chat with you as well.
Yeah, everyone here is a very, very wonderful people that don't bite unless you ask them to.
Right. Getting ready to go then. Our drivers gridding up in the pit lane, which means we're going to get a full formation lap here, which is going to eat away at the fuel of these cars as well. It's going to make it harder for them to reach half race distance. We saw that formation lap being crucial to the GTPs last week out. Some of them really struggled. Is that a jump start from one of our BMWs at the back?
No, it won't be.
No,
it won't be a
go.
jump start until pacing is weird. There's not a jump start. You can inch forward all you want, and it's fine as long as you don't touch the car ahead.
All right, there we go. Out of the pit lane for.
Who is someone else is staying behind? Who is?
Not sure if there was another driver given a pit lane start, but Steven Sholton also starting in the pit lane.
I didn't see a message for Schultz.
Oh, I can see it.
Lane
It did
stop.
pop up because I can see it. Just trying to look. Team and Shelton, instant on lap 8. Pit lane start impeding the 911. So impeded the Porsche of Melvin Gack, who was on a hot lap clearly. Teeman not realising. We did see, I think Teeman's a DLR McLaren, isn't he? We saw a DLR McLaren off the side of the screen when we were following Morphy through the S's. So I wonder if came back on the track and got in the way potentially.
Yeah, did he rejoin in the area? Race control can confirm. Did he not follow driver's notes on how to rejoin, or did he impede somewhere else? Can we wait for the delay to reach that?
Apologies if anyone can hear my dog barking in the background. Just asked.
I don't.
You don't hear it. I can just see an audio spike on stream every time he barks. So let's just see if somebody can take care of him in the background. But we're getting ready to go racing. Like I said, we've got this long formation lap here. But I'm going to yeah, there we go. He just barks because he thinks he'll get a biscuit if he barks. That's the trick there. Right, Vincenzo getting ready to lead this field to green. I'm going to throw our radar up. There you go. That's our most recent radar image from race control. So you can see the weather getting closer and closer. We expect to make it about 25 to 30 minutes, I think, before the rain hits. So let's hope it shakes up the strategy a little bit in the field. We're nearing the final sector of the lap now. This is going to be one of our key overtaking opportunities. Watch this zone during the race.
We're going to be watching for drivers to pass on pure pace, on with the draft, and coming into the braking zone here. So we expect a lot of action to be down here coming into 13. Because VAR being very hilly, is a great track. This is going to be a really good track for GT race. So coming into here, we're expecting a lot of passing opportunities, as well as coming out of 17A, but there's no 17B. I hate
it's classic American track names, isn't it?
It's great. No, because some of them make sense and then some of them don't.
Right, getting ready to go green here at Virginia International Raceway for the first ever ASR IMSA Series GT3 only round. Pole sitter on the right hand side. We've got a long run, a long wait here till the start zone. The start zone, you can see the checkered curve coming up on the right hand side. That is the beginning of the start zone for our pole sitter. It's called green by, and we got a couple of jump starts in the back. People that weren't paying attention to the briefing. Race leader goes, gets a clean start down into turn 1. That's going to give him a very, very good entry into turn 1. Let's jump a little bit further back, see what happens. Pretty wide at the back there, and they're all going to make it through just about, it looks like. Losing position is Jesus Jimenez alongside one of the Acuras there, and alongside his teammate now, but everyone through damage free, and it's a deep dive for the Go Esports car there. That's Carlos Villarejo looking to put some room between himself and Senna Bokhoven.
Thought better of it, backed out.
Yeah, Senna's got another driver right behind him. That's Kevin Kuiper's right behind Senna. So Senna looking to make an early impression. This is where he struggled to get past. He's often been running second this season and struggled to get into the lead. He wants to get into the lead now so that he can try and put Carlos in his mirrors and build a little bit of a gap, bit of a buffer, bit of safety going into the rain. And we've got a little bit of contact ahead, I think, there. Between some of our drivers, but it was only light. It didn't show up on the tracker, it looks like.
No, yeah, that a lot of 0x's and stuff. So just a lot of just door kissing, door bashing and stuff. A little just light contact as we go side by side.
This is Mateo Lemre looking to make a move on Jesus Jimenez, who's blinking a little bit. Mateo thinks about it down the inside in that AMG, but can't get it done. And Jesus just disappearing again there. I'm not sure if Race Control are looking at that. I imagine they will be. This is just causing a little bit of a bottleneck, actually. This is the biggest gap we've got in the field. I think Mateo is just a little bit hesitant here on what to do, and he's having to stay a little bit further back. Kevin Kuipers looking for a defensive move against Mick Sayan, who's going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. What can Mick do? Can't make it work round the outside there, but that shows that there's good opportunity for racing. We're side by side at the back here. This is Yao Medeiros in between the two Ferraris for Era Esports Racing Team. And Bram up a couple of positions, to be pleased with that. Tieman's a lap down though, so I'm not sure what happened to Tiemann. It's almost like they've lost a lap on timing, is it, because of the pit lane start or something? I'm not sure what's happened here. I don't believe they're actually a lap behind. I think that's some sort of timing error on the screen. I think that's because the drivers started in the pit lane for the formation. That will get worked out. Don't worry, we've had this before. The broadcasting software will fix that eventually. It's just to do with when everyone starts a race. And all over the road is Mateo Lemre as he has to avoid the blinking car. A race control on this yet? We're not sure. I'm not seeing anything come through. Sven Elmer's looking like he's going to have to defend down here. Go on, Adrian.
I imagine with how much he's blinking, Race Control might start to look at it to see if he gets better, if he gets worse, because it is very dangerous for drivers to be blinking, especially at a track like VAR, which is somewhat narrow, and it is not great for racing.
Right, Daniel Morphy and Tiemann Scholten on not a lap down. That's being confirmed to us by Race Control. So ignore the +1 laps you're seeing right there. They are racing with everyone. We're hoping this is going to correct itself shortly. If not, we'll flick the timing on and off and see if that fixes it. But for now, just remember those two drivers are racing. Now that's Jesus. That's Bram Cran to the pit lane. Is Bram coming in for fuel early? I'm not sure. Are we expecting rain soon? I don't know.
We have an updated map. Yeah, here we go. Updated.
Yeah, I'm going to get that updated one on screen for you. Yao Medeiros battling with Daniel Morphy. He's trying to catch up with the other pro cars here. Is Daniel going to go down the inside? Yes, he is. In that gold liveried Lamborghini for today's race. Goes down the inside and has to go a little bit wide on the exit, but gets the move done on the BMW driver. Melvin Gack defending it. This is Mick Sayan trying to get a move done on Melvin Gack. Just a tenth separates, a couple of tenths separate these two as he has to back off during the S's, but I think Mick's going to get a good run here into turn 11. Potentially, no, he's going to have to wait and he's going to have to be quick because Jesus Jimenez is looking for a move on Mick. Updated radar here for you guys. The rain is getting closer. It's going to be soonish. Still not sure why Bram pitted though.
I was just gonna say that is not light rain that is approaching. That is gonna be good, like not quite heavy rain, but good sizable rain. So that will have an effect on the the grip levels of the track, and will make a massive difference in the drive as we are on board with Elmers on. Who's that ahead? Oh god.
Just been told by Race Control there are some jump start penalties incoming soon there for the drivers that we saw on the jumper start. This is Sven Elmer, so that we're watching now, who's trying to get a move done on Gregory Kohler so he can move up onto the podium. Our leader's pulling away out front. That's quite a healthy lead margin compared to what we've seen in GT3 so far. This seems to remember we won't have the GTPs coming in to break up this field, which we often do, which means we're going to stay nice and packed up all race long, hopefully. We've seen gaps spread, and by gap spread I mean we're up to sort of half a second gap between drivers rather than a couple of tenths a second gap between drivers. So there is plenty of action to come in this race. Sven Elmers is closing up front, but this is Jesus Jimenez who's trying to get that move done on Mick Sayan. He wasn't able to get the move done on Melvin Gack last time by. Adrian, I don't know if you could just try and drop a message to Race Control, see if they can work out why Bram pitted. It's going to be pretty hard for us, but it'd be interesting to know.
Bram might have had a...
Sorry to interrupt. Down the inside for Matteo Lemre, who bumps wheels with Jesus Jimenez, who then has to go deep. And Matteo's going to try and make it work around the outside, but that's not going to work. That's going to let Daniel Morphy dive through the gap. Daniel Morphy takes 2 into 1, and that's off the road for Jesus Jimenez, who gets across the front of, that was the front of the Mercedes, sorry, Matteo Lemre, and Jesus Jimenez hits the tyre barrier. He's lost a little bit from bumper. He's reversing. That incident is under investigation now.
Yes, that is going to be Matteo and Jesus Jimenez that was spun off and into the barriers, as we saw.
Yeah, trying to find what happened here. Let's take a look at the whole thing. So this is Matteo Lemre. Oh, they're already bumping wheels here. We need to go back a little bit earlier, I think. Let's find the right one. Is it going to be this one? Yeah, here we go. So look, they're side by side already. I'm sure we should have an earlier tracker. Oh, and off the road. There we go. Let's take one more look at it. Oh, sorry. I was just trying to find this is the wrong moment. I was just trying to find the earlier of the move so we could try and see what happened. But oh no, this is Teeman Scholten getting past Sander Boer, who's off the road there. There we go. But this is what happened with Matteo and Jesus. So Matteo went down the inside, and the inside became outside, and then we go contact just across the front. It's a shame we can't get a little bit further back on that. But that is what it is.
This is what I was mentioning earlier about choosing where you have to pass, because trying to pass on some of the S's, it's going to be, it is going to be very dangerous to go side by side or try to make a move at all. Is this the earlier?
This is another angle. There we go. So let's just take one more look at it. Daniel Morphy got through on the inside and luckily avoided the spinning Go Esports car. So that's under investigation, like we said. Daniel Morphy here trying to get another car in his drive back to the front. They're going to be 3 wide, are they, into turn 1 potentially?
Almost 3 wide, yeah.
Daniel Morphy down the inside, gets them both in the pro car. That's Melvin Gap and Mick saying that Daniel Morphy's making his way through. Side by side here as well. This is Quinton Botti and Sander Boer. Boer holds off Botti for now. This is a brilliant track for GT3 racing today. Gregory Kohler defensive a little bit here because that's in the blue Acura that you can see. He's got the black Acura, and then Fabio Gibrino behind the other Acura. Sven Elmers, Gibrino on the attack a little bit. He has to back off through the S's, as we've seen a few times. But and off the road for Sven Elmers, who catches the left rear on the grass from the braking, and Sven Elmers manages to hold on to it, but he's lost a bit of time here, and I think Fabio Gibrino is going to get a mega run here down the back straight, is he? Or can the Acura not out-drag the other Acura? Is there a wing level difference between these two cars?
They might have there might be a setup difference. One driver might be preparing for the rain while the other driver might be preparing for something else. It could be down to whoever had the better run out of Oak Tree. A lot comes down to that. I am surprised that Fabio did not get a run.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have been flying by there with the dirty tyres that Sven Elmers would have had. But right now it looks like Sven is making more of an impact on Vincent Ossums than anything. But both trying. Mick Sayan looking for a move on Melvin Gack here. We're going to watch this one. This is surely going to get the move done. He had to wait last time because Daniel Morphy was coming through. Mick Sayan is forced to be outside by a smart defensive move there from Melvin Gack, and Mick Sayan knows there's not enough grip to go all the way around the outside. Backs off but cuts back down to the inside. What a switchback from Mick Sayan in the Acura. Melvin Gack is given a black flag there. That is for a pit lane incident. I believe that is for a jump start. I'm just trying to find if that is for a jump start. Can't see where it is on my tracker.
Race Control mentioned earlier they are investigating a few drivers for potential jump start.
Ricardo Riva given a jump start penalty as well. He leads this little pack of 3, but he's second last in Pro. That's even more disappointing for Ricardo. Nick looking to get the move done again as well. It's not going to stop Melvin Guy from fighting for on-track position, I'll tell you that. There's still a lot to play for. Even with a drive-through, you can come back here. We've got rain coming. It's going to get all mixed up later on. Don't drop away from this race. It's going to be mega. This is Ricardo Riva then defending, the driver who's got that drive-through penalty and stays ahead just about of his rivals. But no, it's down the inside, is it? For the Go Esports car, who can't stick around to make it work. He's got the Corvette of Senna Botkoven. Is that directly behind? I'm not sure. Yeah, this is Carlos Villarejo, sorry. And Carlos dives to be outside, and luckily he does because Ricardo's in the pit lane to serve his penalty. But Senna Botkoven right on the back. This is a battle for the lead in GT3 out. Does the Corvette have the straight line speed? He'd gotten very close to Carlos last lap, and he's down the inside, is he? Yeah, he's going to have a look. He's going to have a sniff of contact between the race leaders. Senna Botkoven drives away, but Carlos Villarejo is sent spinning round as his rival drives away. Is Carlos moving? He's still not moving. Daniel Morphy is past Carlos. 5 seconds off the field. Villarejo on the radio to Race Control. They'll have already seen that, though. Let's take another look at it. Let's go on board with Carlos Villarejo. This is the gearbox view from Carlos as we can see Senna arriving and dives to the outside. Senna sees a gap down the inside, sends it, and well, it's hard to tell from that angle. I'm not even sure if there was enough room for 2 cars. Yeah.
Does he leave the door open? Is there no? Does he try to force the gap?
Let's take a look from the chopper down the straight. Look how much speed Senna got in that second half of the straight, the closing speed. And then just confident on the brakes. Look, he choreographed it really early. Showed he was going to be inside.
Oh.
That is a tricky one to call. Let's take another look at it. Really, really hard.
I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm not over there. Once again.
Down the inside there, we've seen it a couple of times now, and it looks to me like Senna, he does drift a little bit wide, but he keeps it fairly tight.
That's a very, very hard one to judge.
That's going to make the job difficult for Race Control. Gregory Kohler defending again. This is Sven Elmers. Look how close they are down the straight. We're going to get a repeat of what we saw last time. Hopefully not. This is 2 Acuras this time, battling it out and not confident enough on the brakes. So Sven Elmers is pushing his rival through turn 1. He wants through because there's another Acura behind him who's sniffing blood in the water. Race Control, could we get an updated weather radar as well? Because that's going to make these battles even more interesting. Track position, whilst it might be good, you're the first one that gets to the bit of road that's a bit slippery, so it can always make it interesting. Daniel Morpy's made his way past another car. This is Daniel Morpy getting past Jose Carlos Villarejo. Sorry, so this is when Villarejo was recovering, and, well, let's take another look at that one, actually. From the gyro cam, the onboard camera. That's no good to us. The onboard camera, and that was close. Race Control might look at that for an unsafe rejoin. They often do in situations like this.
That is a good point. Wait, if Senna is given a penalty for causing a collision, but then Jose is given one for unsafe rejoin.
This is Kevin Kuipers, who was running 3rd, a few moments ago. This is what happened to Kevin. He dropped off the back of his 2 rivals, and that was why. Went spinning around, didn't hit the barrier, but he was off track for 20 seconds because he was letting everyone by and trying not to get that unsafe rejoin penalty. So Kevin Kuipers lost an awful lot of time. He is on the recovery now.
Riva's on wets.
Let's throw up our tyre graphic. Tyre compound. Ricardo Riva is on wets. Why has Ricardo gone to the wets already? He's in the pit lane. He's got a black flag. I'm not sure what's gone wrong here. We are about to be hit by rain.
Is he taking he might be taking a gamble here because the rain is very close to the circuit. He might be But I still feel it's a bit early. He might shred those.
He might shred the tyres if he goes out too soon. He's still stationary in the pit lane, so I'm not sure if he's also serving some sort of time penalty that he's been given. Ricardo was a driver that was given a drive-through. But then I can see that he got a black flag, he entered the pit lane, and then he's not driven out since, so I'm not sure what's happening with that penalty. They are wets, visually also confirmed by race control. We've had a closer look that they are visually wets, but you can see that weather radar. We are about to get hit by it. Race control, another request. Can we get a zoomed in one, please, of the track so we can work out where it's going to hit first? And while we're talking about all that, Kevin Kuipers is looking for a move on his recovery drive. It's Quinton Bossi ahead in that Ferrari from Drakeem Racing. They're both closing in on Sander Boer ahead. Still not sure why Bran Kran came to the pit lane early. That's a mystery that's never going to solve itself unless we get confirmation from the driver. Yeah, he came to we saw him in the pit lane a long time ago, and Ricardo has put on the wets, but he's now 2 laps down because he's just sat there, so I'm not sure what is going on with Ricardo.
I'm showing him as 3 laps down. Interesting.
Yeah, it might just be to do with where he is on the track, but he's a long way off the back. I think he might have pulled out of the race at this point because he's a long way off the back of the order.
He is. Maybe.
Quinton Bossi, who was under attack a minute ago, is on the attack now, trying to get past Sander Boer. Sure, we'll get that zoomed in. Enough rain, I think.
Is that rain? That's
I
rain.
might have just seen a little bit of rain. Yeah, that is rain. We've got rain on the bottom end of the circuit. Race control, that zoomed in radar would be brilliant now. Who's going to dive to the pits? No one into the pits this lap. They're all choosing to stay out. This is risky, Adrian. We just talked about not that long ago during our formation lap that it's going to come down and it's going to come down heavy. There's no warning period for these drivers. You can see it's a wall of green on the radar. As Kevin Kuipers makes the move on Quinton Bossi, can't make it work, and we got right here now. And that's Matteo He's gone for a spin, and he's sideways along the track, gets it flicked round. As zoomed in radar is here, we're going to get it on screen for you very quickly. And you can see just where our rain is coming. There we go. That entire half of the circuit now is getting wet. It's getting wet. It's getting wet. And we're going to hit the green very quickly. And then we won't really need a radar anymore. Sander Boer talking about that. I think that's that unsafe rejoin turn 3 potentially. Let's take a look at what happened to Matteo Lemre. This is how Matteo went round. This is through turn 1 and 2, and then we're going to get to turn 3 now. This is where he saw him sideways, so I'm not sure what happened here. It doesn't look like it's particularly wet yet. Oh, but it is raining actually. He's just dropped it on the entry, yeah. That was maybe the first time Matteo encountered the rain, and all of our leaders drive straight through. Sander Boer getting the move done on Yao Medeiros. Now this field, these 4 are so close. Can he make it work in the braking zone in the rain? We're going left here, remember, so he's got the inside line. And he does get through, and that's going to put the BMW on the back foot through here. No one to the pit lane yet. I
imagine the drivers will stay out maybe one more lap before they start thinking about coming in for switching out to the wets, because it's not going to be quite slick just yet. There is still time for that dry. As I said, the spray is starting to come off.
Spray on the straight as we were nearly 3 wide here. The 2 Drakeem Racing cars are going to both get past in one, are they? No, Kevin Kuipers can't make it work all the way around the outside. He gets one of them. There was a lot of spray on the straight there. This is going to be a real problem for the drivers. I think we're going to see pit stops this time by surely. Vincenzo Soroche is 5 seconds out in the lead. We've not spoken much about the Mustang driver, but he's doing a brilliant job out front.
Yeah, so now grip levels are going to start to quickly, not quite quick, semi-quick, kind of fairly quickly drop off as the water and puddles start to form down at the base of the hills, and these slicks will not clear any water.
Sorry there, Kevin Kuipers loses it on these slippery S's. Kevin Kuipers, who was running in the wheel tracks of Yao Medeiros, is off the road. Let's take a look at what happened to Kevin Kuipers. This is going to be, I think, the lap to pit now. Look, just no grip along the curbs there. not really on the curb when he loses it, but there was just no grip. That car just went. Bram has also been off track. What happened to Bram? Is this in a wet bit of the road? And yeah, it is. There's just no grip through there. Matteo also off again. What's happened to Matteo? We're now in the green rain. Matteo is spinning the same way. That was, again, the same. Oh, Matteo takes a big hit. We've got drivers to the pit lane. All of our lead back to the pit lane. But I'll tell you who isn't in the pit lane is our leader and our second place now driver, Gregory Kohler, who is just on the edges of the podium. And those two have stayed out. Everyone else is in. This is going to be crucial. Watch that gap once Vincent Ossoms is out of the pit lane to our leaders who may struggle for grip. Vincenzo Soroche driving around. Let's watch the gap. 41 seconds, 42 seconds, about 43 seconds, I think, once all is said and done. Matteo Lemre has been given a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision, but that's not what we're concerned by now. All of our GT3 AM drivers are to the pit lane. Senna Botkoven is already out. 43 seconds looks like the gap now, and it's coming down a little bit. It's ebbing and flowing, depends how wet different parts of the track are. Vincenzo Soroche is just going to manage his car now. He had that 5-second lead. He's just got to get it to the pit lane nice and safe. We are going to have another pit stop in this race as well, because we've only made it 20 minutes before we hit the rain. No one's going to be able to stretch that tank for 38 minutes.
And track has officially been declared wet. Only now beneficially declared.
And Vincenzo Soroche is struggling. The rear end is all over the place on that Mustang. Look how slow he is. And he's not there. The race leader can't make it work through the downhill section. He's so nearly at the pit lane. Here he is. That will cost him a few seconds. This is going to be very, very tight. Can Gregory Kohler make it through that section? He's done a better job of it than the race leader, but I'll have gained him a little bit of time. The driver to watch now is Vincent Ossoms, followed closely by Fabio Gibrino. These two drivers trying to make it on the wets. They pitted a lap earlier. They're going to try and make it past the leaders. And these two, everyone pretty much apart from our leaders, we talked about this in qualifying. If you're not at the front, you can pit. You have more pit options. You can pit half a lap later than the leaders, and they might struggle, and it can be to your advantage. So what can these two do? They're nearly there. We're going to hide that radar now. We know it's wet. It's going to get wetter, but we know it's wet now. We're going to put the track map up, and Vincenzo Soroche is pulling out of the pit lane now. Vincent Ossoms is coming around the final corner. It's not going to be a move then done for Vincent Ossoms, and actually is about 9 seconds off the leader, so the leader did a very good job. Can the leader get these tyres up to temperature quick enough, though? Vincent Ossoms and Gregory Kohler gained on that lap because he's now P2. That drops to P3 as the move is done, and as Gregory Kohler the road on the wet tyre. He can't make the wet tyre work straight away out of the pit lane. Gregory Kohler struggling for grip there.
Cold wet.
Daniel Morphy, we called it, started in the pit lane. And now P5 made the wet tyre call on the right lap. He's up to P5. About 20 seconds off the lead, but that's a lot closer than he was earlier on. That'll be mega news. We're getting all sorts of drivers off the road. Bram Kran is off the road at the back of the field, trying to make it back onto the road. Daniel Morphy is now looking for a move on Fabio Gibrino. 3 tenths separate the two. The Lamborghini driver looking for the grip on the road in these wet tyres. We said you were just about to say, Adrian, I cut you off. Those cold wet tyres. The cold tyre really struggling to find the grip as Daniel Morphy cuts across the road. Is that a slowdown for Daniel Morphy? Crucially, not a slowdown for Daniel Morphy. Tiemann Scholten off the road. What happened to Tiemann? He's back round. Daniel Morphy didn't pick up a slowdown, but he's dropped off the back anyway. Probably had to lift off as the driver of the gold Lamborghini went across the grass, and now it's Fabio Gibrino who's threatening the driver ahead. That's Senna Botkoven who leads by 13 seconds. I'm not sure if we've had a penalty come through yet for that incident. I'm not seeing any penalty. It's still under investigation, that contact that we saw between our AM leaders. But Senna Botkoven leads by 15 seconds now, which is way more than before the race. So Senna has been brilliant, and Senna defending still from Fabio Gibrino, who's going to stick his nose down the inside. And Senna needs to be careful. This battle does not matter for him at all. This is a pro car. Let him through, Senna. You're leading by 14 seconds. This is not worth it for Senna Botkoven to get too involved in this. And they're side by side now on the exit of the final corner. And the move looks to be done for Jabrino. And it's just Daniel Morphy now who's going to be the next driver trying to make an impression on Senna Botkoven, who runs P6 overall right now. Sorry, P5 overall for Senna Botkoven. That's a nice little stat to have. He was running P4, I think, not too long ago. But Daniel Morphy now is going to be the next driver by. Does the Lamborghini look for the inside in turn 3? Yes, he does. Daniel Morphy gets the inside move done and slots through ahead of Senna Botkoven as we exit turn 4. Wow, what an action-packed couple of laps we just had there. And now who can make these wet tyres work? It's going to keep getting wetter. We talked about that as well. And who can keep it on the road? Vincenzo Soroche's been off. What's happened to our race leader? He still leads the field by a healthy 14 seconds now, but he's been way off the road.
Wow. That is a...
Oh, we've got a moment for some of our cars. Fabio Jabrino and Daniel Morphy also off the road. Daniel Morphy trying to gather it all up to get back on the road. What happened to Gregory Kohler and Daniel Morphy? Let's take a look. This is Gregory Kohler. You can see in that 07 Racing Acura, he goes off. And then what happened to Daniel Morphy, who I think may have just had to avoid the spinning Acura. Oh, yeah, Daniel Morphy saw that car in front get loose and was all over the road and does a good job to avoid it. Jose Carlos Villarrejo, your points leader in GT3, almost crashed. What has happened to the Go Esports driver, the Spaniard, on his way into the heavy braking zone at the end of the backstretch? Can't get it slowed down, does get it slowed down, catches the white line, goes spinning round, and wow. That was nicely held by Jose.
Great save.
Yeah, now runs a long, long way. Oh, no, he goes round again. On the white line again. He keep it out the barrier. It's going to be difficult. Oh, wet grass is slippy. And he does, but he's losing time. He's losing time. Senna Botkoven's got past... Senna Botkoven avoids a spinning Daniel Morphy. We're missing because there's too much going on. Fabio Jabrino and Daniel Morphy went off again. So what happened here? Daniel went round, Fabio followed him round, and Fabio was off on the straight, and that's how Senna got back past and into P4 or P5, sorry. No, P4 on the road for Senna Botkoven. He's got Fabio back on his tail. Unsurprisingly, our leader leads by 13 seconds now. Maybe he's going to take it a little bit more careful. Has that incident been ruled on with Senna? It's not yet. We're going to keep you updated on that. Copy Kuipers, the podium runner earlier on in this race, is off, and so is the Ferrari, the Ferrari Draken racing car. Quinton Bosi, also off the road. What happened to Kevin? Is it going to be the same section? We've seen some other drivers off. Yeah, wow. Not sure what happened there. Let's take another look and have a look at the onboard and see if we can pick up from some engine behavior, perhaps if he just lost grip. Wow. That is very odd. It's like the wheels locked up instantly, or he lifted off. There was a lot of weight transfer, maybe too heavy on the brake straight away. He might have put too much weight transfer around, but just no grip in that Porsche. He's into the pit lane for a fast repair, a fresh set of tyres, and a full tank of fuel, and he's going to fuel save to the end now, surely. Senna Botkoven under attack once again. It doesn't stop, does it, today? This is, once again, Fabio Jabrino trying to get past the AM driver. That Corvette looking beautiful today in that chrome blue livery for Velotti Racing. He's trying to stay ahead. Daniel Morphy is under investigation for an incident. Not sure what that is. It's all calmed down a little bit right now, but let's not jinx it too much. I'm going to knock on wood so that it doesn't go wrong again. And Fabio Jabrino is sideways in his hunt of the Corvette.
Morphy might be under investigation for, I could be wrong, but that might be an unsafe rejoin. Because I believe that was that was a spin,
yeah. This is what happened. This is why Daniel Morphy's under investigation. So, it's that spinning car ahead. So I wonder if maybe it was his rejoin or something after that, which we didn't catch in that clip. Maybe. So, can we replay that? There we go. That's the replay we want. So it goes round. And did he not hold his brakes? He didn't hold his brakes from the looks of it because those axles were spinning. So I wonder if Race can Senna Botkoven might not have been very happy that he had to take some avoiding action.
Yeah.
Daniel Morpy's got past Mick Sayan, though, in some better news for our Dutchman. And where's Mick Sayan? Because Mick Sayan is nowhere to be seen.
Mick Sayan.
So is Mick just a long way off in the grass somewhere that we've not seen?
He's just in a bush somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's what this is. Right, let's go back to live images. And Senna Botkoven is still under attack, but he's also attacking. He's gained an awful lot. Let's see if we can throw our... off the road! No, he's going to catch me, Amelina. No, he's not. But the Acura driver is going to fight this one because that's Gregory Kohler, who's on the overall podium, the pro podium where he needs to be. And Fabio Giabrino is going to get by him because of that mistake. And Fabio's still looking to get past Senna. But Fabio's now going to think of the driver behind him, the driver that matters in this battle. But no, Gregory Kohler's lost an awful lot of time down that back straight. I'm not sure what happened there. Either of these drivers going to keep it on the road because it carried a lot of speed into the braking, and they just about do so. 10-second time penalty for Senna Botkoven for causing a collision. That's that turn 1 incident that we saw. I'm going to throw, let's just see what's happened to Sander Boa, because Sander Boa off in the gravel there. This is what happened to Sander Boa. And he's lost his bumper in this incident as well. Just catches the puddle, and there's so much left-right weight transfer in those S's that just makes it so difficult. Matteo not very happy. I think that was with the rejoin, was it? I think he's not very happy with the rejoin, or was it his rejoin? I'm not sure. He looked... no, I'm not sure what happened there.
Matteo unhappy, which is very rare to see.
Right, but
very rare.
Gregory Kohler, no, he's off again. The driver who was on the podium a few laps ago drops further behind the podium sitter of Giabrino. He's 7 seconds behind, but he's still 8 seconds ahead of Morpy. So Senna Botkoven has picked up that 10-second time penalty, currently leading class by 18 seconds, so he'll be fine if all stays as it is. Sander Boa and Lemery incident is under investigation. That's rejoins, those two rejoin. Yeah, that's that one we just saw, I think, isn't it? So let's see what happens with that. Sven Elmers, Yamadeus side by side, and it's into the barrier.
Please check, please.
Yamadeus not happy. He's asking race control to check. It's the pro driver, Sven Elmers, who's not had a day to get right home about in this wet weather. Is coming from a long way back here.
From behind?
Oh, he lost it on the brakes.
Oh my!
He lost it on the brakes, and well done, Yamadeus. That could have been an awful lot worse. He couldn't avoid it entirely. But wow, Yamadeus, that was mega heads-up driving to turn back out at the corner. That's under investigation now.
That could have been a lot worse for Yao.
Yeah, there was no red, which means less than a second gap on my timing tower, and then suddenly there was. So something must have happened. Yeah, very weird. Sander Boa off again for the Dutch driver of the 33 era esports racing team Ferrari, and it's just not working for Boa in this. These weather conditions with this car, with this setup. Unfortunately, it's just all over the road. There's no balance in that car. Not sure what's happened to Mick Sayan. No, we're missing a driver on our timing tower. I'm not sure why. Very, very weird. I think it might be because Sven has dragged himself away, so let's try and just reset our timing towers. We'll just wait for them to correct themselves. Right, Vincenzo Sirace, despite all of the chaos that's been going on around him, leads this race by 15 seconds. And a mega day for the Mustang driver. He's going to take home pole position points, and if things stay this way, a big chunk of race points as well.
I feel like this comes down to this. A lot of this comes down to just avoiding everything, because I'm seeing him on the tracker here. He's just not anywhere. As also on the tracker, I see Senna is stopped on track and gets going again. Yeah, he gets going again. I think Senna had a spin.
Just been told by race control we've got some heavier rain incoming. Yeah, what's happened to Senna, who was leading? He's lost about 6 seconds, hasn't he? So he's recovered okay.
Try. Yeah, some stopped for a good moment.
That's just a puddle. That is just a puddle. These drivers are really struggling to find grip out there. And oh no!
Ooh,
There was nothing Senna could have done there. I mean, he was already half off the road. It looked like, I'm just trying to work at that. It was Jose Carlos Villarrejo, maybe looking for a bit of revenge. But he was coming through. Yeah, he'd already been off himself hadn't he?
That's coming over a hill, so he's not gonna see Senna is stopped. He might see yellow flags or hear his crew chief saying car stopped ahead, but he won't see him until he crests that hill. So that is a very, very dangerous place to be stopped, be sideways.
Right, you can see on the radar we're about to hit that yellow patch of rain. So it might be about to get a little bit worse, and that's going to make Vincenzo Soroche. He's greedy with the curves there. Through the S's, eating them up in these sort of conditions. That's very, very brave, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to be all over those curves in the dry, but on the I would be hesitant to take those on the wets. Are we? Timing Tower just refuses to.
Well, I'm just trying to fix what's going on with Sven. I think Sven is now out of the car.
In hell.
Yeah.
He is now in hell.
Senna Botkoven is having to defend a little bit here. Daniel Morpy's trying to get through. Senna now only 13 seconds ahead of Mixayan. Senna, remember, carrying that 10-second time penalty of that contact in turn 1. That's going to be crucial. He was defending. Daniel Morpy's just had a moment while he was trying to defend there. So what's happened to Daniel? Hopefully Senna. Oh, Daniel caught the grass there and just kept the foot in.
Just kept
and is eating the curbs. But that second curve did him no good and goes spinning around. Kevin Kuipers is also now
the grass
being
in the
off track.
first curve.
He got away with, didn't he? Yeah, like. Oh, Kevin Kuipers straight into the barrier. Yeah, 20-second time penalty for Matteo Lemre. Yeah,
rejoin.
And wow, well that sucks for Matteo because he's now racked up 30 seconds of time penalties. I think the reason why Senna is still on the board is because Ricciardo is still in his car. So technically is 7th because he needs to do more laps than Sven to get ahead of him. So our timing screen is going to stay like that. But I've got a little fix that I can hopefully do in a little bit. Right. Senna Botkoven, he's built that gap up a little bit now. It's back up to 16 seconds, so he's clearly got the pace in the car to do what he needs to do. Our leader's gap has come down a fair chunk now. I'm just trying to see. Doesn't look like Vincenzo's had any moments.
He's approaching traffic.
Yeah, that's a good point. And worth noting, in these conditions, incident points are going to matter. Yamadiris has just hit 17, I think, so he's just picked up a drive-through for incident points. Kevin Kuipers is on 14, Sander Bauer is on 10, Daniel Morpy is on 11, who we keep seeing off and then trying to recover, so that's going to be crucial. Still 20 minutes left of this rain. I think we are now in that heavier rain. You can see it coming down a lot here, and the spray is getting a lot heavier. Carlos Villarrejo's been off as well. Not the day for Carlos. Really struggled in the rain. We talked about it in qualifying that we thought the Spaniard might struggle a little bit in the rain, and he really is.
Yeah, it is just in general. Who is that ahead?
20-second time penalty for Daniel Morpy for an unsafe rejoin. It's going to hurt Daniel's race a lot. He's already last of the cars on track, so unless something happens to someone ahead, it's going to be really difficult for him to try and recover that. Vincenzo Soroche laps. I don't even know who that is at that point. I believe that is Quinton Bossi, but I'm not entirely sure. It looks like a Ferrari, doesn't it, from what's left of it?
Yeah, it does look very Ferrari, but is that tracking Paint, if it
I
is.
think it is. Let's have a look. Yes, it is Quinton Bossy.
Yeah, it is Quinton Bossy. Who is.
Yeah, that car is struggling and it's losing
It's
a lot
had
of
better
front
days.
downforce anyway. Yeah,
It's had better days.
we are in that fuel window now for the final stop, so I don't think it's going to dry out, right? Like, we're not expecting it to dry out before the end of the race. So
No.
I think people can pit now to make it to the end of the race. It's whether you want to take a new set of wets now, or you'd rather maybe take them when the rain has reduced in intensity a little bit, because it's going to be easier to get the temperature into them. Tiemann Scholten has passed Daniel Morby, who's off again. And Daniel has picked up a meatball flag, it looks like on my screen. So what happens to Daniel Morby? Over the hill, down into the end of the straight, and loses it under braking. We've seen that happen to a few drivers. Oh, and clouts that inside barrier that probably broke the front left suspension. And he's trying to get it rotated round, and it's really, really difficult with only one wheel that's probably turning properly. Yeah, look, that front left not connected to anything. And that is...
I saw Morby as just a regular black flag, not a...
I think he's served the meatball and he now has a regular black flag for incident points, is I believe what has happened. Yeah, meatball damage, race control. So I think he got both, which is he got meatball flag and then like 20 seconds later got a black flag. So wow, that sucks, because he's gonna have to go out and now do a drive through and drop even further down the order.
To see it. Truly do hate to see it.
That lead down to 10 seconds now.
Vincent's lost time.
I wonder if we can try and put up our battle box, which should show... Nope, that's the wrong battle box. We want the lap time battle box. Lap time history. There we go. And it's going to blur itself, because of course it is. But yeah, those last... this is the wrong two cars. Vincenzo Sirocci and Fabio Giabrino, we want that one. There we go. So, that's not the right thing either. Lovely.
He was behind lap traffic and had to get around, so I wouldn't. But you wouldn't lose 4 seconds to lap traffic.
There we go. Yeah, lost 2 seconds on the last lap.
That can't be down to lap traffic. Either he's had a moment, or Vincent is pushing and finding the confidence on certain corners.
Vincent, it looks like he's struggling on the brakes there a little bit in the braking zone at the end of the back straight. We can see our timing now, and yeah, 3 seconds quicker in sector 4 for Awesomes. Just waiting for sector 5 to come through. That's where that heavy braking zone is. So this so far this lap, then Awesomes is quicker once again. Race incident between Sander Boa and Matteo Lemre on lap 17, and then Sirocci claws it back a little bit. So was that about the same lap time? I'm just trying to look. Oh, no, actually. No, sector 6 to come. Sorry, sector 6 to come. So six sectors. Okay. Oh, and slow in turn 1. That's slow in turn 1. For Sirocci, right? That looked very slow in turn 1 for Vincenzo Sirocci. He was quicker in sector 6 than Vincent Awesome. And look, he's stuck behind the BMW now, who he has now got past. So let's look at that sector 1 time, but I think that's a very slow sector 1. It's about a second off the pace there. That gap to the lead now down to 9.6 seconds. Yeah, Awesome nearly 7 times quicker through sector 1.
It's almost like he just came to just a stop. Very bizarre.
Yeah, I've not got anything on the tracker, so there's nothing for me to jump back and watch. He was just maybe struggling to get it slowed down, so he couldn't turn in until it was slow. And look, it's loose again over the hill.
And it's very
Sirocci.
Yeah.
let's just follow along. We can try and see the balance a little bit of the car. You can see the spray coming off that front left tire, front right tire, sorry. And so far this lap then, still advantage to Awesomes. Down into the braking zone, we've seen this Ford struggle here a little bit, but he gets it done nicely. He's wide at the apex though, and just avoiding the puddles perhaps, but it looks like he's struggling with it a little bit more than he was earlier on in this race. And Melvin Gack is getting close to the podium in AM while we follow this battle. We'll keep you updated.
It could also be, the tires are also a bit old, so he might be struggling for grip all around because of setup. It could be the tires are old. It could be I don't know, just trying to put down the throttle too fast though, because we are in the pit. Yeah, the pit window is open, is it not?
That's a big advantage last lap though. That's a 2-second swing to Vincent Awesomes on that last lap. He was quicker by half a second in the final sector as well. So it's clearly struggling here.
He is struggling, but why would it be struggling? Very bizarre. The gap is slowly shrinking. As
another 10th advantage to Awesomes, yeah. Racing between Yao Medeiros and Matteo Lemire, I think, isn't it? Matteo who's off again right now. Oh, Melvin Gack side by side with Tiemann Scholten down the back straight. Oh, bumping wheels. Scholten gained 8/10 in sector 3. That's where he's clawed this advantage alongside the heads as they go into the braking zone. Can he keep it on the road on that inside line? It looks like they've both got through nicely.
He managed his braver on the brakes there. A minute. Schultz. Why is it?
Scholten, yeah, Scholten.
Scholten, Jimenez. I got distracted by the time differences.
Tiemann Scholten pulls ahead. It's because he's showing driver behind, isn't it?
It's driver behind, yeah.
Meanwhile, our race leaders pulled back a little bit of his advantage to Vincent Awesomes, who, sorry, that's Jabrino that we're seeing there, but yeah, he's pulled back a little bit. Awesomes looks to have had a bit of an off moment in sector 3 because he lost about a second through sector 3, which is strange to see from the Porsche driver who's lost all of the advantage that he'd started to build, unfortunately.
That is quite that is Kuipers with a black flag for incident points, is it?
Yeah, I believe so. Just hit 15 on my screen, so actually not sure.
Not sure what that black flag is for then.
What's happened to Yao Medeiros? Goes spinning around on throttle. Avoids contact, what he needed to do.
Race control saying it is for incident points, so iRace control, the software might just be counting something.
It might have just missed one somewhere. Matteo Lemire is off again, as is his teammate Quinton Bossi, as I think we're starting to get hit by that heavier rain a little bit. Melvin Gack right on the back of Tiemann Scholten again. Remember, Tiemann closed up because of a mistake from Melvin, which cost him the podium position as they run. But with 10 minutes to go, still plenty of time to get back ahead, and he is putting the McLaren driver ahead on Fret. Matteo has picked up a drive-through. I'm not sure if that's for instant points or if that's been awarded by Race Control.
Race Control has confirmed Matteo for incident points.
Yeah.
Have we lost George?
Sorry, there we go. That gap has opened up a little bit here, hasn't it? Between Melvin Gack and Tiemann Scholten, unfortunately. So Melvin just needs to slowly build up that gap. It looks like he's been a little bit quicker today. So I think if he can just string together some good laps, he's got a good chance. Vincent Awesome's to the pit lane for his second pit stop of the race, as are a few other cars. Jesus Jimenez, Quinton Bossi, all in the pit lane for their second stops of the day. The race leader carries on. That's to be expected. He went a lap longer on the dry tyres in the first stint of the race. This is going to be interesting. If the fresh wet tyres, what are the fresh wet tyres going to be like? What's the advantage? Is the advantage to fresh wets with a bit more tread, or is it the warm wets with the tyre temperature?
That is going to be very. That is going to be the question as we are down to 7 minutes, just over 7.5 minutes left. Would you, George, rather be on more grip, or would you rather have your old warm tires?
Difficult question.
At this stage, this late in the race,
I think that you've also got to consider you're not going to need much fuel to make it to the end from here, so you're probably not going to be able to change all four. This is going to be interesting to see if anybody does change all four. Not sure if we can see tyre age anywhere. I don't think we can.
You can see stint age, but not. I don't know if you can see tire age.
Let's just throw up my pit strategy. We'll have to wait for them to complete a lap here. And Awesome's is getting caught up here, though, behind the BMW. It's going to cost him a little bit of time, unfortunately. Daniel Morpy's off the road, I believe, and has recovered, if he ever was. Vincenzo Sirace to the pit lane then. Melvin Gack to the pit lane as well. You just see on your screen who's made their 2 stops yet. So that's Sirace, our leader, now stopped in the pit lane, and it's just fuel for the leader.
Has Kohler continued on?
Kohler has maybe just not made it to the pit lane yet. Yeah, not made it to the pit lane yet.
Oh, no.
Melvin Gack on the back of Team and Scholten once again. Reminder to everyone that Senna is carrying that 10-second time penalty. Mick Shayan yet to make the second pit stop yet, though. Only 4 seconds is the gap, but that second stop's going to cost him more than 4 seconds. No, more than 6 seconds. Sorry, they were side by side nearly there. As Melvin Gack is looking to get back onto the pin. This could be a net P2. Fabio Gibrino's been off the road, unfortunately, for the 07
Racing.
Wait
as he comes into the S's. Forced away to come into the S's and then just backs off. Maybe trying to set up the move.
I think you got to set up and move down the back straight, haven't you? It's the back straight or it's turn 1. That seems to be the place to get the move done and close this up nicely. Oh no, McLaren gets a very poor exit. Melvin Gack has to check up a little bit, but I think this is going to be a move surely for the Porsche. Daniel Morpy behind is going to be trying to sneak through as well, the pro driver, but he's not got much to fight for. I don't think he's going to try and disrupt this battle too much. Melvin Gack does not have the straight line speed though to pull ahead without the toe. I'm not sure why he's not tucked in a little bit more, other than the fact that he probably can't see where he's going. Gets to the braking zone and they both make it through there, but Melvin Gack is surely advantage to the Porsche driver, who can so much more confident on the throttle.
He's so much more confident.
Oh, but it's a moment for both of them. And Melvin Gack struggles to pick up the throttle though, but I think there was a lift mid-corner from Team and Scholten, so Melvin's going to get a pretty good run here, I think. Let's go to an off-board, because we're not seeing much anymore because of the spray, but no, Melvin can't make it work. This time into turn 1, he's going to have to wait another lap. 5 minutes to go. It's only going to be a couple more laps. It's 2.5. It's been 2 minutes. 2 minutes 8 is the lap time run by the leader last time by. So still a long way to go for the leaders. But that's going to be probably 2 laps, so I think we're going to get one more and then the white flag I would have thought.
Gak is now having to defend from Morpy behind.
Yeah, Morpy down the inside. That's smart
really.
from Gak. Morpy's got the pace. So let Morpy through and see if he can slow down your rival. He might be a little bit more defensive.
Yeah, because they're not in the same what is it?
Not in the same class, yeah.
Yeah,
Pro.
Morpy the pro driver splitting the two AM drivers.
Senna Bolkoven leads by 38 seconds. Not sure how that's happened. I don't know if we missed something. This happened to McSay and Gregory Kohler now to the pit lane for the second stop of the day. And Melvin Gak's dropped off the back of these two a little bit, so I'm not sure if Melvin's having to save a little bit of fuel potentially. And all over the curb, Tiemann Scholten, it looks like, I thought he was going to let the Lamborghini by, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
Fighting the Lamborghini, that's interesting.
And got to hand it to the Vincent Ossoms, who went 4 seconds quicker than Vincenzo Soroche on the last lap, but that gap is still 15 seconds. Oh, was that into the barrier? That was into the barrier for Melvin Gak. We heard the crunch in the background. Melvin Gak is stuck. No, he manages to get it out. That was close. What happened to Melvin Gak? Sander Boas just picked up a drive-through for incident point limit. Oh, he lost it on the brakes. We've seen it a couple of times today. Finds the barrier sideways. It was a big hit, but if you're going to hit it, that's the way to hit it. Gets it going again, and we've seen the rejoin already. So Melvin Gak, but he's losing a place here. He's got damage, hasn't he? He's going to try and limp to the end.
Is he crabbing?
Yeah, I think so. Is he going to come to the pit lane, or is he going to try and drive it round? He's got to come to the pit lane. It's only going to be one lap.
Look how much he's crabbing. You have to.
Oh my God, he's not even going to get it into the pit lane.
God.
Tiemann Scholten still ahead of Daniel Morpy after all of that. And it might not seem like much, but Tiemann Scholten is battling for P6 overall. So he might be fighting for it a little bit. Yao's also just picked up drive-through for incident limits. We can throw up. We can't throw up incident limit, but we can throw up number of off tracks, and you can just see how many times our drivers have been off in these wet conditions and how flawless the execution has been from Vincenzo Soroche to only have picked up 4, the lowest, second lowest of any driver still actually running.
I seem to see a pattern with the number of off tracks versus who's leading. There seems to be a correlation.
Track position versus off tracks is a pretty straight line right now. Daniel Morpy, we just saw it there, made the move on Tiemann Scholten. Let's take another look at the move. Just, it's gonna, just scares the McLaren out of the way a little bit there. And Daniel Morpy moves up a track position on track.
I wonder if he was trying to let him by there, because that is an interesting way to take turn 11. Right,
I believe this is going to be the checkered flag for Vincenzo Soroche, unless he manages to squeeze one more in. But I think this is going to be checkered flag because we're about 10 seconds away from our full-time 60 minutes. And it has been flawless execution.
It should be checkered, yeah.
Yeah, it's flawless execution, though, isn't it? From the Mustang driver, who has put it on poles, stretched out the lead in the dry, stretched out the lead in the wets, played it safe these last couple of laps, but has been absolutely mega all day. Vincenzo Soroche is going to come to the checkered flag. No, he's not.
No.
We've got one more. We got one more.
Okay, white flag.
Yeah, white flag now. One more for our drivers, so one more lap for a couple of these guys to rack up and drive through for incident limit. But
but don't put that. Don't.
I can also tell you, looking at actual incident points and not just the off tracks that we can see in our race control software, the driver with the fewest off tracks is Vincenzo Soroche. So it's not just number of off tracks. He's got the lowest number of incident points of anybody. I don't think there's been a single loss of control from Vincenzo Soroche. It's just been flawless execution all day. Oh, spinner. Is that Daniel Morpy? I could just hear it. Yeah. Oh no! Oh! Daniel Morpy is collected by, I don't even know who that is. Sander Boer, is it? Quinton Botti, collected by Quinton. Collected by Quinton Botti. This is Botti here in the Ferrari. You can see Daniel Morphy in the bottom corner of your screen. Left-hand corner now. He's just about to drop. And Quinton Botti is going to come to him over the crest. Couldn't see him, but Daniel Morphy's surely going to get a penalty there. Fabio Giabrino has got past Tiemann Scholten, but Tiemann Scholten in the different class, so Tiemann probably not fighting that one too much. Race leader's got some traffic. If he knows what's good for him, he's going to sit behind it through his final sector. And he doesn't have to, because it's off the road for Matteo Lemeray, who runs last of the cars out on track anyway, so that's not going to affect any finishing results. Vincenzo Soroche getting close to putting a lap on Mick Sayan as well. Absolutely stellar from our race leader, who has been absolutely mega, comes to flawless. The line. Yeah, flawless execution all day, zero mistakes. And it's checkered flag for Vincenzo Soroche, your race winner in the first ever GT3 only IMSA round at Anti-Stall Racing. We've got a couple of other drivers that are coming to the line. Vincent Ossoms comes home for P2. It had maybe thought more was on his plate, but he still finished a minute ahead of the rest of the field. So you can't complain about that. A good day for Vincent Ossoms, a nice collection of points as well. Jesus Jimenez has come home for P4 in AM. Senna Botkoven leads by 25 seconds. I think he's just taking it careful at the moment. He leads by 25 seconds. He needs to lead by 10 when he comes to the line. If it's 10 seconds or more, it'll be Daniel Morphy, time penalty 35 seconds. That's a drive through for an unsafe rejoin causing a collision. That's converted to a 35-second post-race penalty. That's that rejoin that we just saw, but that's not going to really affect the finishing position of Daniel Morphy, who is a long way clear of the next pro car. Gregory Kohler finishes off your podium in GT3 Pro. Gregory, a clean race from Gregory. We've not spoken about him much, and that's just, it's been clean pretty much all race, and comes home to finish on the podium. Senna Botkoven is making his way now to the checkered flag. Flashes the lights. It's been a long time coming, I think Senna will feel, but he'll be happy to have picked up the win in the GT3 only round. Race winner Mick Sayan is surely going to come home for P2, 33 seconds off the back of Senna. Lost a lot of time this lap actually, Mick Sayan, for this moment. So what happened to Mick coming through the S's? It nearly all got away from the Dutchman of the 908 and just avoids a tyre barrier. And I think that's your signal to that's your signal to drive slowly the rest of the lap. Mick Sayan comes home for P2. Tiemann Scholten, our last driver to take the line, is going to come home for P3. The 52 is still crawling around behind him, but that's Quinton Botti who's already taken the checkered flag. Tiemann Scholten not far to go for DLR. Slides through the final few corners. You can tell he's taking it careful, not pushing too much, and I think he might even be out of fuel because he's dropping revs. I think he might. Oh no, he puts his foot down a little bit more. Hard to tell. He's taking it very careful. is what Tiemann Scholten is doing. Tiemann Scholten to the line to complete your podium in GT3 AM.
It's like when you go sideways in like on the back straight and or in the on the back roads, and then you drive home, radio off. Turn
it all off. Focus on the road. Yeah. We've all been there. Vincenzo Soroche is your race winner, and it was, as we've said a couple of times now, flawless execution. Nothing done wrong today. Senna Botkoven's already apologising to Jose Carlos Villarejo for the contact, saying he just couldn't get it slowed down in turn one. He was penalised for that, but I think Villarejo had other problems in the rain today and dropped further down than that contact would have done. Let's take a look at our race results in GT3 Pro. Vincenzo Soroche was your race winner. The podium was completed by Red Eagle Racing driver Vincent Ossoms, and Kohler came home to finish P3. Giabrino in P4. P4, Morphy P5, Elmer's P6, and Ricardo Riva finishing off the pro category. GT3 AM was won by Senna Bokhoven 34 seconds ahead of Mick Sayin. That 10-second time penalty drops that gap down to 24 seconds, but will still win the race. Team Scholten finishes off your podium. 2 DLR drivers on the podium. A good day for the team. Go Esports driver Jesus Jimenez came in to finish P4, Gak P5, Kuipers P6, Boa P7, Villarejo P8, Medeiros in P9. Bossy P10 and 6 laps down is Matteo Lemre P11 and Brown Cran 15 laps down. Probably doesn't make race distance.
Don't imagine that is race distance.
Yeah, we'll wait for confirmation race control. I don't think any of the penalties that I've seen, so Morpy's penalties won't drop him any further down. Lemre's penalties can't really drop him any further down, and Senna's penalty doesn't drop him any further down. There may be a couple of post-race incidents to look at. In fact, there are some being looked at the moment. I've just seen a couple of tickets. Note that all tickets, so we might get a couple of incidents to look at. We will see. That is it from us today. As I said at the top of the broadcast, the new website is now live. You can head over to antistall.racing for all of your sim racing league information that you may need. The standings will also now be published once again on the website and no longer in the Discord channel. So you can head over to the website to catch up on the standings. Thanks for joining us for our first ever GT3 only round in the N-Store Racing IMSA series. We're going to go to next week. We're going to go to Barcelona for our first ever GTP only round in the N-Store Racing IMSA series off, and then we're finishing off with a double header at Spa-Francorchamps on the 22nd of May and then the 29th of May, rounding out the season at Portimao with a 90-minute season finale. It's been lovely to have you with me, Fox, and I hope you enjoyed that race.
It's always lovely. Thank you for having me, and great. That was great, wonderful, loved it.
Yeah, I loved. We had the first sort of 20 minutes, and it was bumper to bumper racing, which is one skill, and then we had the second half of the race, which was trying to keep it on the road in the wet and trying to make the passes in the wet, which was just absolutely mega. We saw both sides of the skills that are needed from these drivers today, and we're hopefully going to see those skills stretched again at Spa and the Algarve at Portimao.
Oh, Spa. Shimmy me.
All right, thanks everyone that joined us, and we'll see you next week.